First, I'd like to thank the Los Pistoleros and the contributors for making this outstanding meet possible. I'm truly honored to be able to speak here and share my memories. There's a great movie called, it's a futuristic movie called Blade Runner. And in that film, Rutger Hauer sits on the roof of a building, the rain coming down, he's holding a white dove, and he says, I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Set ships on fire off the corner of Orion. I've seen C-beams listen in the darkness off Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die. Well, you know what? I'm too ornery to die. My old man made it to like 86 shoveling snow. And so I'm honored to be able to stand here and share my memories with you. The problem is my memories are starting to fade as I get older. I'm about 59 or 8 years old, something like that. I printed up all these 4 or 5 cards to talk about Cortez Bank, but you know what? I'm not going to even look at them. I'm just going to wing it. A lot of you guys don't know where I started out because I grew up in Connecticut. The way that I paid for my bicycles and sports gear was to, I grew up on a bitchin' lake. It was called Lake Candlewood, crystal clear blue lake. And I wasn't really partial to people from New York City. They would come up and fish in my spots and take my fish and shoot the deer in my backyard, cut the heads off and leave them there. So I was really kind of anti-New York fisherman. So what I used to do when I was about 9 years old, they used to drain the lake to do maintenance. And they drained the lake for this power plant, and when they drained the lake, I'd put 2 pieces of rebar up with chicken wire between the 2, right in front of my favorite fishing spots. And then when they filled the lake back up, all these New Yorkers would be out there casting their, at the time it was a big deal, it was $1.25 for one of those lures. You know, some of the Rapalas were $2. By the time school started in the fall, I had like $150. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So I'd go down, there was a tackle store, it consisted of 4 squares of plywood. The guy's name was Bill's Tackle. I'd go down to Bill's Tackle and I'd sell them all this brand new stuff back for pennies on the dollar. I mean, 10 cents, $0.25 a pop, and I did pretty well doing that. Well, then I got into racing. I became an engineer, worked for Ferrari, hurt my back, ended up getting transferred out here to the West Coast, to a place called Victoria Beach. And I tried to rehabilitate, and the way that I rehabilitated was just swimming. I didn't spearfish, I just swam. So I would swim Victoria Beach, Rockledge, Moss Point, in those areas. Then one morning I'm down there, and there's a bunch of people, and they're all these people are around this guy, and there's a big pole standing there, and he's got a really nice halibut. All these chicks are watching him going, that's what I want to be. That's what I want to be. I want to be one of those spear fishermen. So I went back to my house, built a carbon fiber rod that I had left over from the Formula One wars, and about 2 days later came back to Victoria Beach. The only thing I didn't know, I thought that thing on the end with the rubber was just a handle. So I didn't know anything. So I went out there and I kicked out, I think I had some duck fins, and it was big. But I had dove at Hatteras and stuff like that, so I'm used to big surf. So I get out there and I look down, and right there on the outside of the shore break looked like a halibut that was this long. It wasn't, but anyway, I swam down, didn't know how to clear my ears very well. Stuck it in the head, managed to get up, started swimming ashore, and I could actually see the people on the beach stand up. And they started pointing at me, and I went, wow, that's they know I got a fish. And one of them is going, outside, outside. And all of a sudden I hear this hiss. And I look over my shoulder, and there's just a monster of a shore break. And it scoops me up, I hold the spear, and I just get dragged completely up this dry sand beach, knocking over tourists, breaking up coolers. Lawn chairs were floating, but I got that fish, okay? And then the water recedes, and look, I got all these people standing around me, and I got the fish. Well, that's how it all began, and that was 1981. Guess you want to hear about Cortez. I first went to Cortez with Terry Moss. He probably doesn't remember it because he's taken so many people there. That's why all those spots are messed up. Every time he gets a good spot, he takes people there, and people mess up his spots. But anyway, Terry took me out to Cortez Bank, and I worked till about 8 o'clock that night, drove up to his house, and at that time, he wasn't living in Ventura. He was living someplace else in a smaller home, not the mansion he's in now. And so I slept on his couch, and it was just the two of us. Next day, we picked up the boat. I think it was about 3:30 in the morning, so I got about an hour's sleep. We went out to Cortez Bank, and in those days, we didn't have GPS, or he didn't have GPS. It wasn't invented yet. We had Loran, and Terry's Wilson was kind of like riding in a wet coffin. You know, well, I mean, when you're on deck, it was great, but when you had to go down below and get sleep, you know, that was not fun, you know. So he says to me, he goes, I'm going to run the boat halfway there, and then you're going to watch the TDs and run it for a while, and I'm going to sleep. Well, I think he actually slept, because he actually disappeared for 2 hours on our way out there, and he woke up, he was all ready to go, you know. So we get out there to the Cortez, and we go to the south end where the buoy is. And Terry says, oh, by the way, just so you know, we're not shooting any yellowtail, and we're not shooting any white sea bass. We're on a tuna trip. And I go, yeah, okay. You know, so he gets in, and an hour goes by. I mean, we found the bait. Nothing really much happened. I got in, found the bait, not really much happened, saw some yellowtail. We came back to Santa Barbara Island, and then he took me to one of his secret spots, which was a pinnacle somewhere on the island. And the spot got renamed 26 Asshole Spot, I think. but that's because he took Harry there. Anyway, I wasn't responsible for that. But anyway, we got on this spot, and he says, I'm going to get in and find the bait. I don't need my gun yet. I'm going to get in and find the bait. And you just motor the boat. And don't get too close to me, Don. Just stay back a little ways, and I'm going to find the pinnacle and find that bait. So he gets in the water without his gun, swims about 100 feet in front of the boat. I'm watching, worrying about white sharks, because I had a neighbor that was a gill netter. He showed me all the pictures from the same spot we're diving in. So all of a sudden, Terry comes out of the water, his chest out of the water, and his arms are going like this. And he's shouting obscenities. Bring me the effing gun, bring me the effing gun. So I buzz up to him. Now I think his legs have been bit off, and he just wants to shoot the white shark for revenge. I didn't know, you know. So I'm trying to pass him the gun carefully, because it's the actual tuna gun that he shot the tuna with, you know. Trying to be careful. He goes, give me the effing gun, you know, and I pass him the gun, and he doesn't say anything. He just dives, and he comes up, he's swearing. I thought he was like real calm and meditating and all that, you know. No, he was really high on the adrenaline. He makes like 3 or 4 dives, long dives, 2.5, 3 minutes. Comes back to the boat. He's not happy. I says, what happened?